So let's start with X-Men 97, episode 9. Tolerance is Extinction Part 2.
D.
So here's the thing for me. I watched episode 8 and then into 9, and I should have. This is the part where I was like, damn it, I should have just waited another week and I could have just watched all 3 together.
Oh,
but,
no.
I know, but going back to back was insane. But this episode was it's to me it is truly remarkable how consistently with each episode this show gets better and better.
Yeah.
Like it is like the build to this and all of this in these last 3 episodes, what's going to be these last 3 episodes is going to be insane.
Well, my whole thing about this series is I didn't really watch the original cartoon.
I didn't watch
but
much
it was
of it
on,
either.
It was on for 5 years, and I know they covered a lot of shit, including the Dark Phoenix and storyline and whatnot.
This takes place after that, yeah.
Yeah.
With the whole Madeline Pryor stuff.
Of course, yeah. But they've seemed to kind of, I don't know, they just seem to have accelerated every like major storyline of the X-Men during Claremont's run, and I mean, I know what happens at the end of the episode is not during Claremont's run. That's during Jim Lee's run. But it's a stroke of brilliance to be like, hey, Wolverine's skeleton is covered in metal.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Magneto controls metal.
So
how come Magneto's never gotten pissed off enough at Wolverine? And so I give Jim Lee credit for that one.
But before we even get to that,
he's probably more.
Before we even get to that,
of course, we
have that reunion. Like, to me, this this Magneto, especially, and I know it's just kind of continuing what they did with him in the comics and what they did in the original run of the show, but it shows you how such a good of a villain he is and how he's always been such an amazing villain in the Marvel Universe, because on some levels you agree with him. Because this whole show has been like, Magneto was right. He tried to be nice with you, and there's Bastion to ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
And like, going in on the story of him being like how it's going to tie with him and Cable with the technovirus and stuff, and how they tie in Nimrod and all of with all of that, it's so crazy. And like, because again, I didn't know much about Nimrod until we talked about it on the show.
I didn't know anything about Bastion. I'd heard of him.
And I didn't know Bastion was a part of Nimrod. I didn't know that was the whole thing.
What I read was that Bastion in the comics is an amalgamation of Nimrod and Master Mold.
Yeah.
Which is like, holy fuck. Ouch.
It's kind of like
Jesus.
Kind of like Superboy, because Superboy is a combination of Lex and Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like
it's. But I mean, who knows what we'll learn about his origin? I mean, we didn't really learn that much. We learned some, that he was born to a woman, or that a woman raised him.
Yeah.
And that he had a lot of the same childhood issues that, say, Jean Grey had, like a telepath.
Or a mutant in general.
But he's a technopath, which is he's telepathically linked to all machines, which is like, fuck.
Which is so cool, because that is how they work around the EMP of the last episode. Be like, oh no, these are controlled by him. Like,
right, which is crazy.
So it's like he's locked into his own version of fucking Cerebro piloting these fucking Sentinels, dude. That's so fucking awesome.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. And how many
such a great show, dude.
And just and he knew they were coming and everything. I mean, so and it's so good. Like, what's her name, or Rogue and Roberto joining Magneto.
Oh, so yeah, let's get into that. I wanted to talk about that. We kind of been moving around it, but so Xavier finally shows up, at the end of the last episode. So now we're dealing with reunion.
Everybody is rightly so kind of giving the professor shit.
Yeah, because Charles Xavier sucks. He always has. He's always been he has a noble goal in mind, but a lot of the times he's selfish. And he doesn't go to the lengths Magneto does. He's still trying to save humanity. Like, Magneto is completely gone.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you understand. He said, I tried to make peace. I went on your message. I even went so much as to accept the invitation to be a part of the United Nations.
Yeah.
And that still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
There's no going back. And when he looked into that, he had to look in that little boy's eyes.
Yeah, as they were burned out of his skull. Look, he basically he's telling Charles, he's like, you know how like you said how it would be, you know, all those times. Well, guess what? I let it be that way, and look what happened. Exactly what I said would happen, not what you said. What I said. Now you're coming at me and telling me again that if we do it your way, this is how it's going to be. I have fucking evidence and blood and death
and
that proves that what you say is going to happen when we let them do it their way is not going to happen. It's going to happen the way I said it. Because that's what they've done every fucking time, Charles. You do not understand this.
You didn't say all that.
I'm
not
saying
nearly that long.
No,
no, yeah.
But he's, like,
well, and
for once in our lives, I have evidence that says you're bullshitting me.
And Rogue,
and you're wrong.
Rogue in this scene and
Roberto
in this scene, both have justified reasons to join him.
Yes.
Rogue lost Gambit.
Yeah.
And she also thought she lost Eric.
Her point about saying, like, look, I wanted to help change the world when I joined this group.
But she throws it back at Charles, too. She goes, who's next to die?
Yeah.
Jean's already died.
I want to be a part of what Magneto wants to do, which is make a new fucking world. And fuck humans.
But Magneto's still wrong because he's still going. His response is to commit a genocide. Like, he wants to exterminate humans. And again, you understand why he's hit that point. You understand because he's for years. And like, yeah, the last episode when he's looking at the tattoo from being in the Holocaust.
Yeah. He's already seen.
He knows what this does. He was in Nazi Germany. So
he knows he knows what the end goal result is.
He's experienced a genocide himself.
The interesting thing, and this just hit me, but the interesting thing about the tolerance is extinction. I thought when it said, part 1, and obviously it's part 1, 2, and 3, the title Tolerance is Extinction, I kept thinking that it was like something the executioner would say. About the mutants.
And that's what it's about Bastion saying
But
that.
no, it is Magneto.
Dude,
saying
so the first episode is Bastion, the second episode is Magneto.
I'm just saying
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
the phrase itself is from the mutant side. Hey, if we continue to tolerate these fucking little humans that we are better than, they're gonna keep trying to kill us.
And then and Bastion is saying
it just hit me that is not coming from the human side. That's crazy.
No, it's coming from both because Bastion is saying that.
Whatever.
Because Bastion says in the first part 1, he says that to the effect of, we can't let. It's almost similar to what the executioner says. We cannot let the future he thinks the future is going to end mankind. He thinks mutants will end
Bastion
mankind.
says at one point, I think he repeats something that another mutant villain said, which was, it's terrible when you realize that the future's left you behind.
Yes.
Bastion says that in this episode, which is crazy because it's repeated. I can't believe I just burped in the microphone like that.
I didn't hear it.
Wow, all right.
I didn't hear it. It didn't happen. Tuned it out.
But, brutal fucking fight on Asteroid M and brutal fight.
Oh my God. Asteroid M?
Well, what?
He fucking brings in Asteroid M?
Let's finish with Bastion because obviously we don't know what happened with Storage and Form.
Can you write a comic book, Storage and
Form? I'm going to storage it. I'm going to form it. Together we make lightning.
No, they're just building houses. Coming to HGTV.
Storage and Form. So Storm and Forge, we don't know what happened to them. That's your phone. What is that?
That's my leg on the No, it's the chair on the table.
Fucking irritating.
Well, tell me about
I
it.
did. I've been trying to tell you about it since we started the damn episode.
What the fuck?
What happened? Yeah.
It didn't work.
It's your fault. It's your fault. Be mad at yourself.
So yeah, we don't know what happened to them. What else is going on down on Earth?
Well, I just
When we left them, they're in danger of.
Well, and we also got to see them in. We got to see Jean Grey in the Marvel Girl outfit. We got to see the full mask of Cyclops. We got the yellow
old school.
We got the yellow or the brown and orange looking.
Yeah, Wolverine.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I kind of like that one a lot. It looks like all their new costumes look really good.
I thought it was really cool that they were like, dude, let's just do this. So obviously there's a huge fight on Asteroid M, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to basically just commandeer Magneto so that he can save the Earth, so that Charles can save the Earth.
Yeah. This was such a gut punch of a scene. So
all of it.
Especially as me, who is the basic bitch, Wolverine's my favorite X-Man. I'm not. But anyway, so for me, it was exciting to see him get one because he's of course, Magneto always is going to defeat the guy with metal for Skeleton. Always. That's always been a joke about their rivalry. It's not much of a rivalry because he could just flick his fingers and he's gone.
Right, but that's always what he did until that time.
But this scene when they're fighting and he jumps on the back of Magneto and you see him fall down and he just kind of gets one up on Eric because he drops the helmet. He finally got it off of him so that Charles can get into his mind.
Yeah.
And, dude, I was so fucking bummed because I'm like, yes, he fucking got him. Finally, Logan gets one up on Magneto. And he comes up and he stabs him in the back and he goes, I've seen a lot of war, bub. The brave die first. Which is a callback to the original series.
Oh.
Which was, I believe Magneto said that. Or I think Wolverine had said that before, but there was a scene that was in the original series. And then Magneto says, finally, we could put an end to this rivalry. And while Wolverine has his claws in Magneto's back, he rips out the adamantium from Wolverine's skeleton.
Yeah.
And it is almost exact splash page. Almost it looks almost exactly like the comic book.
Yeah.
And it's fuck, we're doing that
well
too. Because it was like you said, where it was oh fuck, we're gonna do this too, because that's a big storyline in the comics.
So we're building up to it. We're building up to it during this whole fight, and it's gut punch after gut punch. It's Roberto versus Jubilee. It's Charles versus Magneto. It's
why
Rogue
do you keep
versus
calling him Magnus. It's annoying.
Whatever.
Must have been a thing from the first series.
Yeah. Well, for a while in the comics too.
Ugh, dumb. Anyway, continue.
It's building up to it, and I don't know why, but I see this happening. I see that. I'm trying not to guess where it's going because I just don't want to. But when he gets Magneto, I'm like, holy shit! This just keeps adding.
Because you believe
you thought
he got him.
of level. Yes,
it's a gut punch because you think Logan finally got him.
Fucking killed him, and then I'm like, wait a second. If Magneto's still alive, which obviously he is, it's not.
He could pull his claws out.
Well, it's not.
At least.
It's not far. It's not that. It doesn't take that long to realize that no, Magneto's not dead. Because the way they animate it looks like he gets him right through the chest, but he
gets him through the back. He doesn't get him.
It gets him through the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But later on, when he's laying down right before he does it, it's just like, oh shit. And then it happens, and then of course credits, and you're like,
yeah.
And every Wednesday, I always forget to wake up early enough.
Yeah.
I always forget to wake up early enough so that I can make breakfast before my therapy. and watch the whole episode. I always have to watch like the first 15 minutes, and then I have to go to therapy, and then I come back and watch the rest of it. It's just like, God damn it, I hate doing that. So I'm gonna make sure I wake up early enough tomorrow because it's the final episode.
It's important. Yeah.
I mean, God knows where the fuck are they gonna go?
They're gonna go right into your heart and break it.
Also,
it's gonna get a season 2, so who knows? I don't know what needs to be done, but Bo DeMayo needs to come back. I hope there's something that they can resolve and he gets to come back to do this show because, God dang, man, it is.
I'll say that
it has restored my hope that I think that the MCU is gonna do the X-Men right. And
my thing is yes, but also I really and totally aside. But what I love about this show is when they do the Marvel animation, it's they show all of the animation, like from way back the first Spider-Man cartoon and that shitty Silver Surfer cartoon.
This is what we've been talking about on this show.
I'm the Silver Surfer.
This is what we've been talking about for a while on this show. We want Marvel animation to step up to the power of DC, and I think we're with this show.
Oh, absolutely!
I think as good as those DC movies have been, and how much I love a lot of them. This is up that like I want to see DC do something like this where it is, and I hope that's what we get with Batman Cape Crusader. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like Marvel is finally raising the bar in animation for themselves, and they're competing with DC now, and that's good because it's better for everybody when they're both good and competitive.
The best part about this series, more than anything, is that there are no continuity markers they have to hit. You know what I mean? It's its own entity. It's its own universe.
And the fact that it's in 97 where it's like we're going to commit that it's in this universe, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's not really expressly said what year it is, which I don't care.
I mean, he says
ostensibly the 90s, whatever.
One of the episodes he says you haven't been able to stop him since 92 or something like that. So like that's one of the references.
Right. But I mean, the point is that it's its own thing. There are no, okay, Feige literally can keep his hands off of it because he doesn't have to say, like he does to say, a person making a Thor movie. You have to make sure you include Hercules, whatever, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because every single MCU movie has had Feige going, okay, well, you have to have this point mentioned or whatever so that it's all part of the bigger whole as well, right? He's the one who's being the steward of the whole thing. He's said now that he's gotten away from that because he doesn't want to do it as much. But of course, he has to steer the ship.
Yeah.
They can just do whatever the fuck they want. They can kill off characters, no problem. And you know what? Wouldn't surprise me at all if Gambit comes back.
Yeah.
But it's a great fucking show. And I gotta say, as somebody who really didn't ever make an effort, kind of on purpose, to watch the X-Men cartoon. And by the way, did you watch? I started watching the very first episode because after the one episode was done, it went into the. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. Dude, that animation is shitty. It is shitty animation.
Back like
oh my god,
show?
It is shitty with a capital T.
It's because it was cheap.
It's fucking terrible.
Because they had to produce so many episodes.
Jubilee looks like she's got dreads. It's terrible.
I can't wait.
They're trying to make her look spiky hair, but it's so bad.
I don't know what they're gonna do after this, but it's gonna be crazy.
But I never made an effort to watch the show, but I am pleasantly surprised by how much this show has just turned me back on to the X-Men.
Oh yeah.
And the continuity and all the shit that I grew up with. Like there's so many stories that just really hit me when I was growing up. So I love you.
I want to
did I just say I love you?
Because the X-Men this show is you're not alone.
It's got 98%, 93%.
Like you, I'm in the same boat. I think a lot of people are. It goes back to what we said on this show for a while. It's obvious when a property is good like this, it's going to regain interest. Like Fallout was an example. This is an example. I'm interested in the X-Men shit, and I've gone back and read X-Men comics and got and read up on the lore and things like that. So
I wonder if they're making any new X-Men comics based off, not based off of the X-Men 97, but based upon the success of the X-Men 97.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're making new X-Men comics because they
another great example.
seem like they made a new one every month.
Another great example. I've seen things of like the death of Wolverine, which was like back in like I think 2018.
Yeah.
So people talk about how good that was, and I was like, oh, I might go back.
Well,
I want to go back and kind of
here's the thing:
read that and shit like that.
Marvel Age 1000, which is actually a really cool thing to have, and I have that. I bought it when it came out. But it's basically a reboot of sorts. It's a soft reboot of the Marvel universe. And one of the big things is up until that point, since the death of Wolverine, I think this came out in 2020 or 2021. One of the things is that he had been encased in adamantium.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. But everybody's talking about how perfect of an ending
during
that was.
this issue that I'm talking about, somebody, I think it's Jean Grey, but she goes to his monument or whatever, which is just him.
Yeah.
And it's been cut open from inside with an Infinity Stone.
Oh.
And it sets up, and it's also the first appearance of the Avengers 1 million BC. So it sets up like a shitload of timelines or storylines in the Marvel universe. But it's really cool because I hadn't read any X-Men comics forever.
They
I'd
kept
heard
him dead for like 5 years after
a couple,
that.
yeah.
No, like legit, he didn't reappear for another 5 years, like which is pretty long for a death.
Well, X-23 took his place, and they wanted to make it significant.
Well, I also think it's the same with like I was talking about the Venom verse. By the way, X-Men 97, we love it. Can't wait for the next episode.
I'm gonna wake
Side
up
note, I've been reading the Venomverse stuff, and I'm not gonna like dive into it.
It's not long box time.
No, I'm saying I'll talk about that at a different time.
Yeah,
but I'm saying it's the same thing where around when that first Venom movie was coming out, they did the Venomverse stuff, Edge of Venomverse, then Venomverse, and then that led into the Donny Cates stuff. Like that was around the time I'm pretty sure when Logan was coming out, so they really wanted to bump the popularity of X-23, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that, because she, like, that character was appearing in more and more stuff. She'd
been around before that, yeah.
There's literally a Venomverse variant of X-23.
Of course.
And an Old Man Logan fucking Venom variant. But
no, I don't believe you. No. Where's your fucking precious soundboard when we need it?
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
I don't know. I was thinking something more appropriate. I don't know what, but not that.
What?
There you go. Sure. Offpanelofftopic with Jake and Tyler.